Welcome back, everyone, to Halloween Haunts 365. I'm Jared.
And I'm Terry.
I still close my eyes when I say that. I don't know why I do that.
I don't know, you're weird.
Yeah, I'll be weird. All right, real quick. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the button down by Terry's face that says subscribe. It'll be right here. All right. We're doing something a little different today. It's still haunt related, though, so stay tuned. All right, I'm going to switch screens and introduce our guest. We have with us Tim and Katie from the Real Tim and Katie YouTube channel. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. Did you know couscous takes forever to cook?
We do now.
It just boils and boils, and then you stir it and boil it. I'm like, come on, man, I got shit to do. No more stuffed peppers before interviews. Takes too long.
Oh, that sounds good, though.
It was so good.
Not only am I a world-class haunter, I'm a world-class cook, too.
Oh,
There you go. That's a good combination.
That is not something we're working with over here.
No.
Better
than I am.
I worked
I'm
12
just tired
hours.
after work is all.
Right. I literally worked 12 hours today.
Yep,
Oh.
she's dying. I'm better on the grill, though, than inside. It's less mess.
That's fair. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
I tend to explode the grill when I come near it.
True.
So it's a literal thing that happens. So I don't touch it anymore.
Awesome. All right, so I could talk cooking all day, but
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got started with experience vlogging.
Sure. So we started our channel back in 2020, and at the time, 2020 was a weird year for obvious reasons. A lot of people were just kind of like hitting the ground running, like whatever we're doing, as long as it's outside, it's going to be interesting to someone. So we started watching experience vlogs like that during that era. And we started thinking, you know, we've always kind of tinkered with the idea of starting a channel, and then that seemed like the perfect opportunity to do it. We did like a Muppet music video as like our very first video. It's still up if anyone wants to see it, but it's not really what we do anymore.
Parody music.
It's a parody, yeah, parody music video based on Muppet Treasure Island. And
Hey,
then,
everybody in 2020 did some crazy shit.
listen,
I played more Call of Duty than any human could take in 2020. I really miss COVID, to be honest with you. It was
I mean, there were things
There
that
were-
were
there were-
better, and there were certainly things that were worse.
yes. There was good and bad, and
Yeah.
I want to bring back the all day Call of Duty and 6 feet away from me.
Yeah.
If we could just keep that.
Wasn't
the whole
awful.
time.
Also, full-time remote work was great. When everyone had the excuse. Now, not
All
so much.
the bread making and food.
Right.
experiments
Yeah,
people were
yeah.
doing.
Everyone either learned a trade or started to learn a trade,
Mhm.
and then gave up as soon as like the outdoors opened up. We kind of sort of learned a trade in that we became YouTubers, but apart from that, we didn't do anything special with our time.
Yeah.
So we hit the ground running after that minor success of that first video, and then obviously everyone who was subscribed to us for that had no interest in everything else we were doing, but we have a different audience now. We started doing like theme park vlogs because that's something that we were really passionate about and still are passionate about. We do a lot of theme park vlogs to this day. But then we really started falling into haunt season
I think in 2021.
2021, 2022, thereabouts. We started
Yeah.
getting really hooked on haunts. So we're relatively new to this industry, but we've been really lucky and fortunate to work with a couple of brands in the Northeast, having us out to kind of showcase. What we like to do with the haunt stuff is we really like to kind of not do complete walkthroughs and show everything, but just kind of like do little showcases or highlights and just kind of give a little bit of like
We get
reaction or scare cam too.
we
to,
get
like,
asked a lot, oh, are you haunt reviewers? And we always say, no, we're not gonna like score you.
you're gonna
or,
get 2 thumbs up.
like we're pretty
The
much
worst you're gonna get is 1 thumbs up.
yeah, we're pretty much just focus on the positives and try to get the word out about your event or your haunt, and say how we liked it, and hopefully maybe attract some other people to your haunter area. So
And it's been fun. It's been
it has been
rewarding.
really
Like
fun.
we love haunts, and we always loved haunts to begin with. So this was just kind of like when we did our first haunt vlog after so many months of theme parking, we were kind of like, I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this. It probably will have I think the first one was Legends of the Fog.
Yeah.
which during 2020
That
was
was
like
a
a drive-through.
drive-through.
They did like a modified haunt experience, and we actually need to go back to Legends because we
Yeah,
haven't been
'cause
back
we
since
haven't
they
been
did
back.
that.
Yeah.
But that hit a completely different audience, and I think at a certain point we fell into just YouTube tends to like niche you out. So I think a lot of people found that video and videos after it, like Hallow Scream and whatnot, and just decided we were haunters, and we were like, we're okay with that.
Yeah. It's a good audience. It's a very small niche, and it drives me insane because we've tried branching out to other things. We've done paranormal stuff. We've done horror movie reviews, and my audience pretty much told me to go screw myself. We're not watching this. Get back into a haunt. And so, probably a year after doing full-time YouTube for Halloween, because this started as a website.
Right.
I did really bad articles with really bad pictures, and it got some kind of following, and then I decided, let's just do it on YouTube, which... here we are.
Right?
So we always had the haunt followings. We've had the brands that have always supported us for the last almost 10 years.
Yep.
And once I did, we did the whole Conjuring series. Just me and her sat down, reviewed it, went over it. Crickets. Wow. So then I did. But they don't. Not my base. It's the funniest thing ever. So me and my buddy, he left the podcast. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just separate it? Me and Terry will do all haunts all the time, nonstop haunts, 365 like it's supposed to be. And we'll do horror on the other channel. And after I made that switch, is when we started to grow. So it's really a weird niche, that haunt scene.
Yeah. And YouTube is weird like that too. A lot of social platforms these days are really slowing growth for various reasons. No one knows. Anyone who tells you they know what the algorithm is doing is lying to you. They're guessing.
The only one that knows is Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, yeah.
I could go on and on about that. Small YouTuber, people who got started during the pandemic, I feel like there was a lot of us, and especially in the theme park community, we joined Facebook groups and whatnot to help us grow, and there was a lot of momentum for a little while, and then anyone who hadn't already blown up by the end of the pandemic, when people started going back out, was not going to. So we've been growing slow, but part of what we like too about being Tim and Katie as a brand instead of being, haunt specific, is that we do have some room to grow in whatever direction we feel is most appropriate. Haunts have just kind of been the momentum that we've had most recently, and we love doing them.
Love spooky season is busy and tiring, and I'm sure anyone in the industry could agree with that, but it's also a lot of fun.
September to November we have no lives, and we're totally cool with that.
I'm just screaming and laughing and trying my hardest not to get sick for 10 weeks straight.
And we always do.
How many did you get to last year?
Haunts?
Yeah.
The actual number is I think around 11. Counting theme park haunts, which you have to count theme park haunts in our boat.
Right.
But this year, I think the number is closer. See, we're revisiting some old haunts too. So in my mind, I'm trying to separate out the new haunts versus the old haunts.
No, you can't do that. The haunt count is no matter if you've been there 10 times or none.
Yeah, I think we're closer to 13 this year, which is big for us.
Oh man.
I know you guys are the pros compared to us.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, we're not.
One year I'm gonna bring you guys, and I'll show you tired.
Well, that's the thing too, is that I know you guys do the reviews, and a lot of times you'll digest it on the podcast or in the videos.
Yeah.
We as soon as we're done, we have to go and bring in all the footage and edit, and usually, not always, and sometimes longer, but often it takes me about 8 hours to edit each video. So my work is just starting when I get home from each haunt.
Yeah.
So I don't want to as much as we'd love to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes the best we can do is a Saturday and a Sunday, and I'm editing all that week to get everything out while it's relevant.
Yeah.
I completely understand. I have 2 hours. I have 2 hours.
You have 2 hours.
Because we gotta
it's go.
We'll say we hit Friday. Saturday, I'll come, upload everything to the computer, go through that. I don't do anything inside yet. I don't think I'm going. I don't know. I'm 50-50. I really am. Because I won't even give scenes away when we're talking about it. I give 3 away. That's it.
And it's very bare minimum.
Yeah, I'll say tree. And you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you guys have been in Den of Darkness, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So, load all that up. Get it all done. Do what we have to do as adults first.
Right.
Usually food shopping or, kids and all that stuff. Get to the walk. I always do a midway walkthrough. Or just show what the place looks like. Put all that together and make scoring videos for each attraction. So we'll use Field as the example. So that's 4 scoring videos.
Right.
Luckily, I have a whole template where I just have to delete stars and shit, and we're good to go. Then I have to bring her in, sit down, record, and I won't even play with that until we get back from the next one. So I'm finishing up that video. I'll start. It's insanity. I should have stayed a block. But then it was.
And then he comes to me and says, I'm going to split and join podcasts with the other one. So now you have 2 of them.
Yeah, but that's just us sitting down talking about horror, true crime, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you're still editing, adding pictures or whatever you're talking about.
I do that all on OBS. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm doing pictures, I have it loaded so I can just hit the button. I'm not going back. I don't even listen.
But like most of us are doing this on top of 9 to 5.
Yes.
Right.
Not a full-time gig for the majority of the
That's what people have to understand is like
it's like
I get suggestions a lot. Like, you should do this. I'm like, yeah, I travel the country for work. Kind of have to be home. So like that live show, if I can't have a consistent week, there's no point in doing a live show.
Right.
One night we'll do Tuesday recording. The next time we'll do Friday. We've done Sunday at 7 a.m. I mean, it's just when I'm home.
That's the nice thing about the podcast, though, is that you can do it whenever and put it up when it makes sense for you. And you'll always have that stuff captured. And
Every Monday. We're actually ahead because we're heading to one of your favorite spots, Busch Gardens, this next week.
Awesome.
I haven't been there in 12 years.
Never been.
No, 14 years.
It's different.
Are you doing coasters or are you just
guys, I am such a pussy. I am scared, like literally scared to death of heights. So I can do fast. I can do circle stuff like like the kid ride.
The teacups.
I could do more than the teacups. Like I could do dark coaster. I could do that. That's fine.
That one, no heights in that one.
Dark coaster, Invader. I could talk roller coasters all day with you, man. there's
that's what we're here to talk about. We don't have to do all haunts.
It's Busch Gardens, I feel, is like one of the best. You haven't been there in 14 years, you said, right? You've been there before. So Busch Gardens is like one of the best all around, like something for everyone parks in the Northeast. I don't think, honestly, theming wise, I don't think there's anything rivaling Busch Gardens in this area. I really feel like Hershey's starting to like build a whole brand around the candy and whatnot.
I haven't been there
in get-go, but
14 years either. And when I was there, it was really for kids.
Yeah. It's trying to become a destination. If we're talking about Hershey, it's trying to become a destination theme park. So they're really trying to add more thrill every season.
But there is
more
like
adult
still
stuff.
that like they have landscaping and it can be pretty in that, but Busch Gardens, even though there really isn't the gardens part of it anymore. I mean, I know you probably won't, but if you get up top one of those roller coasters, you're seeing treetops. There's plenty of natural shade. It's a beautiful area, and they've just built their rides into it rather than like flattening out all this natural beauty to put up a parking lot, so to speak. So I think it's a great place for just vibes and like
that's what we're going for.
And
people watching.
Ride, great,
food.
No heights on that. You can get some great views of the roller coasters that freak you out, but you can still watch them, which is fun, and listen to other people scream, which is sometimes really fun.
We have a haunt coming up that has a ski lift. So I think I'm gonna do the sky ride at Busch to try and get used to it.
It's not all that high. The
Yeah,
Skyride,
the
but
Skyride's not too
I'm
bad.
we've
videoing
been
you.
with people who are like diehard coaster enthusiasts who are like, we got to knock out every single coaster while we're here, and we've done that and we love that. But we've also had
Like I
days
took my
you took your mom,
and my
yeah.
mom's not gonna get on anything that moves all that fast or
We
jerky
did the
or
train, we did the
whatnot.
sky buckets, we did the Rhine River cruise. Like they have something for everyone. That's why I love that park. Like
Yeah.
we could just go and sit in the center of the park for a couple of hours and just be perfectly content that way.
Yeah. Well, excited for that. I'm sure there's some things that are still there, of course, but I think there have
This
been
is
a
where
lot
I
of
wish you
changes.
guys were vlogging that kind of thing because I would love to see your first time reactions.
I'll just film her anyway and send it to you. How do you come up with the ideas for your vlogs? Like, where are you like, we should go do this?
That's a good question.
Actually, just like you would think we had this from the beginning, but no. We just this year started like keeping a list because one of the things we've noticed, I mean, you guys probably familiar with this as well because you're not that far from us, but in the Northeast, there is a time of year when there's nothing happening at all. It's not Central Florida. You can't just walk out the door and have possibly okay, possibly torrential downpour. Like you're gonna have all 4 seasons here in Maryland, and not usually on the 4 seasons of the calendar. It'll be like winter in the middle of July sometimes. Theme parks, where we started our brand, they really don't open until March, April at the earliest. And then other stuff that we like to do, like we just started very recently when we went out to Vegas doing like the Meow Wolf, the immersive art exhibits and whatnot. Tourist
That's where I wanted to go.
attractions,
We're gonna go to
roadside.
Otherworld.
No, the one
Otherworld
in
is
Vegas.
Oh, the Vegas one, yeah.
The Vegas.
The Meow Wolf in Vegas
Yes.
is great. The Meow Wolf in Denver,
Even better.
even better.
I missed out on that one.
I know.
So
You were in a wedding.
I was busy
I was killing time waiting for
being a friend.
That's one of the videos I watched for research.
But so I guess we have stuff we want to do, and if we're able to film it or we think it will make a decent vlog, we take the cameras and make sure it's okay to film and we will do it. So then there is stuff we're doing because content.
Yeah.
We need it. But we're really trying hard not to, burn ourselves out or get sick of it. So we do focus on things that we like to do. And as Tim was saying, like the off season, this after Christmas, after the holidays,
December to April is like,
I'd say January to April, because December we usually do have things.
yeah, but tail end of December. I mean, depending on whether or not we do something for
And
New Year's.
This year
we sucked.
Well, we sucked, but the only thing that brought us back, the only thing that brought us back was off-season haunt events.
Yes.
We had 2 Valentine's Day, a St. Patty's Day.
And we did stuff like, I mean,
Con.
funny you guys mentioned the paranormal thing and
we did
not
that.
finding an audience with that because we did the same thing. We got invited out to do paranormal with Laurel Casa Horror. And that was a lot of fun. Also just terrifying. Was our first paranormal experience ever. But that video, which we were relatively proud of, had no audience whatsoever. Like
I kept laughing at Katie's face. When I watched that video, it was so funny.
When it started, it was like everything was scary. Like the pin drop would be like.
We bought those they're ghost hunting cameras, phasm cams,
the night vision,
so that we could get reaction footage in haunted houses where it's very dark. So that was our first time using it for like a paranormal experience. And I was like, yeah, it's really like, because your eyes glow and everything. So every little movement looks very like, oh, she's very scared. And at times I was. And at times I was just like, I don't know what's going on here. Which I think is part of the paranormal experience.
Yeah.
To answer the original question, which I realize we've gotten just so far away from.
That's okay.
Questions are just a thing to keep talking. It's fine.
We do that. You'll just ask us a question that requires a 30-second response. We'll be here for an hour.
That's fine.
But we have a list of stuff that we would like to do that's like inside and not weather dependent, and then a list of stuff we'd like to some of them a little further away that would require a little more planning, but a list of stuff we'd like to do that's outside and adventurous. And a lot of the outside stuff we try to do inside the spring to summer period, because once we hit fall, of course, we're running all over the place doing haunts. And And every year the list gets longer because we think we're going to get to everything and we get to like 3 of those things.
Yeah, I never think we're gonna get to everything.
I mean, you
Our
could pace it out.
Lists are constantly growing. We have an international theme parks list of places we want to go to. We have a domestic theme park and amusement park list. We still have, people are shocked we still haven't been to like Cedar Point and are like, yeah, it ends up on our itinerary and then we find
I want to
something
go
we
to
wanna
every
do.
single rainforest cafe in the
He
country.
wants to go to Rainforest Cafe.
I thought that was very interesting
That's
because I watched the Vegas video. I'm like,
Yeah.
he really likes Rainforest Cafe.
I love the Rainforest Cafe. Are you kidding me?
It is
It's
cool,
basically
though.
a dark ride that you sit in. So I'm like, I'm a kid at Christmas, like sitting in the Rainforest Cafe. And every single one of them's different. They're all very similar, but one of them in Galveston actually has like a river raft ride going through it. And I'm like, we have to go to Texas.
Yeah, we have a couple of things we
A
want to do in
lot
Texas,
of
but they're
things.
not close to each
No,
other.
because Texas is huge.
Oh my god, it is.
Yeah.
And it's hot. Oh,
Yeah.
the sun is lower in Texas. Like it's like
Yeah.
right in your face. It's just like stop.
I just hear like the like if I picture it's going to Texas, I just hear like what is it, like the good, the bad, and the ugly music.
Yes.
Just like picturing like getting out of the airplane, like it's just abusive.
Well, when we go, that's what our vlogs will be. It's just a series of shots back and forth, like narrowing our eyes at whatever we're looking at in the distance, and then the good, the bad, and the ugly.
They just carry guns. That's legal down there. You could just video with the holster on.
Everything's legal in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place is an interesting state. So we went over how long it takes you to edit a video. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when you started this?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The list is as long as my arm. The biggest challenge, and remains the biggest challenge, I think, to this day, but especially at the beginning, was consistency. Because any YouTuber, especially one who's been doing it for a little while, but any YouTuber will tell you that the more often they post, the more their channel grows. And at the beginning, especially in 2020, when we chose to start, there was only so much available. The experiences that we could capture were only so accessible. There were certain things that were like really not going to be fun and interesting. Like conventions, we do convention vlogs too, like Comic-Con and pop culture. Half of those events didn't happen. The other half were like, if you're standing next to a celebrity, there's a plate of glass in between you. So it's like, we were looking into, what would be interesting to vlog, what would make a good video. And I will be the first to admit, our early videos were not great. I mean,
But I think everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to laugh, go to my first video.
Oh.
She's a floating head. I'm talking to Nikki from Haunted Overload, like it's a big interview, and I'm just like a giant face in an iPad with like my logo behind. It was terrible.
Yeah. We all start somewhere, though. I'm trying. Honestly, relating to other YouTubers this way makes it a lot easier for me to digest what we did wrong in our day. So,
I mean, it's the consistency. It was finding things to do to film. It was, and then also kind of, personally for me, it was kind of adjusting to experiencing things sometimes through the camera versus just on my own. And we all have cameras in our pockets now. Everyone is constantly taking pictures, taking videos, whether it's for Instagram or just for your own photo album on your phone. I mean, it's not unusual to have but it is different when you are like getting used to like walking around and talking into the camera where your audience is people who don't exist yet.
Yeah.
Or really back then really didn't exist. You start out with 2 subscribers that are probably me and you. Our different Google accounts.
And some people that, like I say, like jumped on board because they liked the Muppet music video parody and never watched another vlog after that because we went completely different direction with the channel.
From your family and whatnot. Yeah. So those were hard things. And still, I would say there's still like, hey, I don't think, sometimes we get somewhere where we're going and it's like, I really don't feel like vlogging today.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to be like, okay, are we going to live with the hole in the content calendar, or do we go find something else to do? Or do we just accept that we care more about our mental health and well-being than we do about the channel sometimes?
And that actually brings up something that I was going to say too. And this isn't something, I mean, we talk all the time in our live streams about like mental health and finding a balance, but honestly, we've never really delved into like how challenging it was for us to find a balance between the two of us for our vlogs initially, especially as we started to grow. And it felt, when you have like 30 subscribers or 30 followers on Instagram, or I don't even know how TikTok works, to be honest with you, but if you have a small audience like that, there's like, you feel like you have momentum and you want to build something good with it, but you also don't feel the immense pressure of the like over 500 followers. At that point, it really becomes like, I really want to make the best product possible. And it's hard to get out of that mindset of, I mean, between us two, we both grew up in theater. We both have an acting background. So it's not hard to put on like the persona of the vloggers, but it was hard to balance out, like, as Katie said, like sometimes she just wants to like look at fireworks. She doesn't want to capture them on a camera. Other times, like I really, really, really want to get a shot and make it look really good. And she doesn't have like the vision that I have, and she's trying to do something that does not compute for her. And I'm like, no, you got to do it like this.
I always get
and we start
like,
picking at each other. Like,
well, he's always in like the editing suite and he's like, oh,
yeah,
it was blurry, or oh, you didn't frame this right. Oh, and he's not, I don't want to make
I
it
wasn't
sound
talking
like he's
specifically about your shots.
no, but
It's
that's like a learning curve. And I've gotten better.
You have gotten much better.
Better?
You've gotten better. We've been at this now for 4 years. As of next month, I think we started in July of 2020.
Yeah, June, July.
So next year will be our 5th year, and we honestly, I don't think we really found our stride with content, with each other, or with the edits until 2022. So
Yeah.
it took
2 years.
2-ish years to really find our vibe, and that's when we're still growing very slowly, because things that would make us grow faster, like adding a TikTok account or using YouTube Shorts, they're really not our vibe, because we really, at the end of the day, we consider ourselves to be storytellers, and it's really, really hard and frustrating to tell a story in 30 seconds. So we don't prefer to use short form content, and we really try hard to do these like narrative pieces. And it's taken us a while to.
We don't really want to like go viral for one short, and then, because even going, if short gets 100,000 views or something, it's not like you get 100,000
and then that's your life.
that short.
From that point on, you have to try to replicate that success.
Yeah. So
what's the phrase? Yesterday's miracles, tomorrow's expectation. That's not true for the creator, but it's true for the people who follow the creator after a short goes viral. So we're really, I mean, not trying to lean into that so much. It's just, we grow at the rate we grow at. We create content we're happy with. And to get to that point, and that point alone, has taken us 2 to 4 years to kind of figure out what the balance is.
Yeah.
And I think we're pretty happy with where we are.
I have to say, I struggled trying to like, not to care. I cared about the channel, but I struggled to.
I really could not bring myself to give a damn.
That's what I was saying. I'm at the point where I do feel like, okay, this is a project we work on together, even though I don't touch the edits. He is the editor. If anyone didn't know that, he does. Once the stuff is captured, I don't touch anything. I may give some thoughts on music choices or something like that,
which is key,
which is helpful and whatnot. But I don't do anything except when he's like, I need you to ADR this. then I may jump in.
Sometimes we patch things together.
Yeah.
But I, as she was trying to say earlier, I also am a very, very much a shoot to edit person, because I spend so much freaking time in that edit suite. I know mentally, I can visualize how the timeline is going to look based on the shots I'm getting. So like if I'm getting like 70 to 80% of what I want, but that extra 20% is like right there in front of me and I can't get it to work, I'm like, visually frustrated in person. I'm like, can I just turn it this way, or no, you need to be over here.
Yeah. And like, I mean, we're out for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours at a theme park. I mean, we spent 14 hours at Fright Farm, I think, last year.
Yeah.
And probably
I have
captured
never been so
a
tired.
3.5-hour documentary's worth of content and posted a 27-minute video.
33. It was
33.
actually our longest video ever.
Yeah, so that was a long video. But yeah, it does seem like a whole day's worth of work. It's a lot of times shrunk down into anything from 12 to 30 minutes.
That's why I like doing the highlight reels, because nobody watches them. Nobody. But they do give me a place to put like some of the clips that I really, really liked, but couldn't find like a narrative spot for in the vlog content. And it also just, gives us a very concise memory to look back on.
Yeah.
Like a block of memories or a compilation of memories, I guess. But
very cool. Do you guys look up to anyone in your genre? Like
yeah.
My God.
Who we got? Who we talking about? Your top 5.
So, I mean, you know who I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so I guess the vloggers that inspired us to go out and do what we do now are, you can say the one you're
Super Enthused.
Jackie
from Super Enthused. Central Florida vlogger. She's been at it, I think 7 years this year.
Yeah.
And she has from day one been very, very supportive of smaller creators like us, and she's actually helped us build our brand out a little bit and given us recommendations on like what to try, and it's been really great. Because she lived in Central Florida, which was one of the first states to start slowly reopening after the COVID crisis, she was out there pounding the trail and going to theme parks when everything up near us was closed. So we, like many, I think, found her during the pandemic, and we were some of her early subscribers.
Just trying to live
when
vicariously.
We found her, she
through
was at like
adventures.
2,000 subscribers, and now she's at like almost 150K.
Yeah.
Which is significant. But it's because like her stuff is very positive, it's very fulfilling, and it's very much what we want to be for other people, is just positive vibes.
And I'm gonna cut him off there because we could hype Jackie for like another half an hour. And you asked for our top 5. So another one is Justin Scard, or Random Land Adventures, California based, but travels all over the country.
Route 66.
He's
the Gravity Falls house.
Yeah, he does roadside attractions, just whatever. We love his energy, his editing style. I think Tim does try to emulate at points. So that's another one that
he also does like mini docs, like micro documentaries. And that's, if I had my druthers, if I really had the time to commit to something like this, I would love to do something like that. Just put together like interviews and historical footage, and sometimes you'll see that in stuff like the Fright Farm vlogs, where I'll go back and tell like a brief history, because it's something that we found out and they gave us like old photos and whatnot. And I think it's really cool. But for the most part, we have to be experienced vloggers, because that's the time we have to get a video out the door.
Other people that we have enjoyed watching and inspired us to get out there. Not all of them we watch like all the time now, because honestly, we've made a lot of like friends, and now we're kind of watching mostly their stuff. But we did follow like Tim Tracker for a long time, and enjoyed seeing, and we got a lot of ideas of places to go from these people too. So they gave us some good ideas. What's another one of yours?
Oh, I was going to say Theme Park Worldwide.
Yes, that's another
very different style of editing.
I
mean, it's real easy for him to turn a video. Sean and Charlotte's a couple from the UK.
Putting the clips from the day together, and
basically taking every clip they shot over the course of the day, dropping any bad ones, and adding fades, and that's their video. And they can easily get that out the following day. That's very long form content. And the reason that it's compelling to me is because their personalities are so, like, they're a couple like us, and they enjoy doing things together, and the things they do are very similar to the things we enjoy
Charlotte
doing.
also hates water rides.
Charlotte hates water rides, which makes her my spirit animal. So who's our 5th?
I was gonna be like, some of these.
It's hard to pick a fifth because I feel like now we're on the tier where they're all our friends.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, who do
Like,
we shout out
Who do
today?
we, without, failing to promote everybody else we know?
Yeah.
I would honestly, you can disagree with me if you want,
Okay.
but I
You
would
said I could, so if I do.
I would honestly say that one of my favorite channels to watch now would be Sapphire's.
Oh, that's kind of true, actually.
Sapphire Amber and she's an actress at Field of Screams, but she recently guest haunted at Laurel's House of Horror. And we found her totally organically. I don't think we'd ever recognized her or said hi to her at Field where she works regularly until after we found her vlogs. But when her vlogs started creeping out, they're really good.
Yeah.
Like they're genuinely
She's got
really good.
instincts.
She has awesome edit instinct. She knows exactly when to cut. It's like high energy, and she adds these little like text bubbles, like whenever it's like, and now the 3 hours of sleep hits me, and you can see her like. But it's been really fun to watch her grow because
we've been. She's on the list to have on our show.
Oh, that's gonna be a
you
joy.
should have the whole family.
You should have the whole family.
Crystal, her mom is like a VFX person. Her dad is a rock star, but also like
an
Krampus and
acting
a
and
phenomenal actor. Aurora.
Yep.
That's not her real name, but
I believe
it's
the
Echo.
Sisters have gotten in on
Yeah,
it now.
and
yeah,
Bree.
the family.
Well, it's a whole family enterprise.
We were like, I think the other day I was like, I wish they could adopt us, even though they're
Right.
we're in our 30s. We don't need to be adopted, but they just
I
seem
do
like a fun
though.
family.
I do want to be a part of things. They are great. They are wonderful people. And Sapphire, it's been awesome to watch her grow because she is still got a smaller audience at this point than I think she deserves.
Yeah.
So
I know how that is, Sapphire, but it's okay. We'll get there. And I'll have you on the show soon too. We need to talk to you. What are some of your favorite destinations you visited?
This is the have visited list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Alani?
Oh yeah. Alani was great.
All of Oahu, the island in Hawaii. It's an island, right? Like
Yeah.
island in Hawaii, not island of Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hawaii, it's not part of the main island.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So all of Oahu was awesome, but we spent so much time at the Disney Resort at Alani.
Yeah.
When we went there, first of all, it should be known that we didn't pay rack rates because we're Disney Vacation Club members. So if we had, we would never have been able to go there.
Yeah.
The first question I asked him was, after I watched that video, was like, how much was that?
Yeah. And I told you, right?
Yeah,
I think the total would have been if
Like $8,000.
if we had actually paid for our stay through and through, it would have been $8,000. As it was, we spent probably half that on food.
Oh my gosh.
So it's good that we didn't pay that.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was truly
Island
like
prices.
that whole week. So you guys probably know the drill when, and forgive me if you don't, but when you get married, if you're a young couple, being pulled in both directions at Christmas time, right? This family.
Oh yeah, we've been there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what we decided to do one year was, all right, we've done alternating between the families every Christmas for however many years, basically since we got engaged.
Well, before that, we started dating. It happened in 2012.
Yeah, it became overwhelming. So we were like, you know what? This year, nobody sees us at Christmas. We're going to Hawaii, and that's where we're going to stay until after Christmas.
Until after New Year's.
And what we did was we did 1 week at Alani at the Disney Resort, and then to kind of cut down on the gut wrenching as we left Hawaii, we stopped in at Disneyland for 4 days on the way back. Because we're East Coast, so we're talking like you're flying 13 hours out there. If you fly 7 hours back, not only is that an easier flight, but you also get to go to Disneyland in the meantime.
Right.
Yeah, and exactly what you described about Christmas is probably one of the chief reasons I can't stand fucking Christmas. I hate everything.
I'm just like him.
It literally makes me mad. I am literally angry from like November 2nd until New Year's. I don't want anything to do with it. I hate it all. I can't stand it.
We could probably, you and I, have like a group therapy session on this exact topic because I could and have gone on about it for hours. I I love theme parks at Christmas. I love Christmas events. I love what Field and Laurel have done for Christmas to celebrate the off season for haunts. I hate just the generic Christmas, like the picture perfect postcard Christmas. I'm like, at this point, that stresses me out. So I'm kind of like, I would rather be out and about doing fun things in the experience vlog realm versus, taking a weekend off to travel to wherever to do whatever. Not that I don't like seeing the people that in our family that we get to see at Christmas, but it's a lot to be asked to do that at every single place we've ever visited.
And now
Everyone we know.
Family not as close anymore, so it makes it difficult. So back to like places we like to visit. Alani was awesome. Disneyland is one of our favorite places. It's actually where like I was there for a work conference in 2018, I think it was, and he came with me because it was like, hey, I'm going to California. You want to come? Sure. And I was like, hey, I've heard Disneyland is cool. And he's like, we can't
I
go to
was
Disneyland.
famously
And he realized
against
that
the
we were
Disneyland
literally in Anaheim, like walking past the entrance to Disneyland every single day. He's like, it's that close? Like, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so we'll go to Disneyland. So we went. It's 2018. It was like $100 to go, which it's never been that ever since. And that's where we were like, oh my gosh, I think I love theme parks now. And that's where the love of theme parking was born. And it was actually our first like theme park trip was down to Florida in February 2020, right before everything changed. And that's when we bought into DVC and had all these bright ideas, had already scheduled our next trip to Disneyland was scheduled for June 2020. Guess what was not open in June 2020?
But if we hadn't bought into DVC in early 2020 before the world fell apart, we never would have been able to afford it because the rates since have gone so far up.
Outside of theme parks, I'm like, that's not true. Outside of the US, we've only been one place together, and that was the Netherlands last summer. And that was
everything there was perfect.
We didn't want to leave.
There is not a single place we visited. What was it, like 9 days?
Yeah.
There was not a single place we went where I was not like, I could stay here forever and be perfectly happy. Yeah. I don't think we had
some people were like, you spent 9 days in the Netherlands, and we're like, yeah, and we would have spent more.
We would have stayed if they let us.
Have to go home.
That Efteling was the theme park we went to over there that we built the whole trip around, and that has been referred to by many as the Dutch Disneyland. It's actually probably more accurate to say that Disneyland is the American Efteling, because Efteling has its own unique brand of magic without IP.
Yeah.
Like they built an entire theme park around, and it's themed. Like it's genuinely like they have their own characters. They have
fairy tales, like Little Red Riding Hood and stuff like that, but nothing there's never been any besides like maybe
no Efteling movies.
Yeah, there's no movies, there's no, equivalent to, Little Mermaid and stuff like that. Disney IPs everywhere. And I don't know.
I think for the purposes of the question, we should just lump all of the Netherlands into one bucket, because we could talk about Toverland, we could talk about Amsterdam, we could talk about the hotels we stayed at, we could talk about, I don't know, biking, like everything.
Loved biking.
Everything.
I loved getting on a bike and being like, this is how I'm traveling today.
They build bikes differently over there.
They do. I will tell you. They make you kind of sit more upright.
American bikes are sporty, and if you grow up on an American bike and then you ride like a European bike, it's like its turning radius is so much sharper than you're expecting, and you really do have to learn how to ride a bike again. In my case, and maybe crash once.
We learned so much shit on this show.
I know.
Would you know the difference between a European bike?
No.
Nah, me neither.
No.
They look the same until you get on. Every once in a while,
you could find like one of those more like not dirt bike looking, like the ones with like, we have a lot of bikes with like flat handles, right? Every once in a while, you could find one of those, and I'm like, I bet that was imported. Yeah. Every other bike,
European bikes have like a Y shape to the handles.
Yeah.
Like a beach cruiser.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what beach cruisers are largely European.
They go to their grocery shops, so they've got this big basket out front, and they've got like a little
bike garage.
It's like a little, like a rack above the back,
Oh yeah,
So you
Oh,
could
like an
put
extra seat.
stuff. Well, I don't think you're supposed to
You're
use
not
it as
I
an
don't
extra
think
seat,
it's
but
a
you
but a
seat.
lot of people
you
do.
would see someone like sitting on the back wheel, being like, "Wee!" down the street. I don't think that's legal, but
But it happened.
it happens.
It happens. Shit
Well.
happens.
Where else
Yeah.
besides the Netherlands?
I mean, I
That
would
we've
say
been.
the Netherlands, Hawaii, and Disneyland are the places where like, when are we going back? Always.
I would say I mean, we haven't vlogged it, but on our honeymoon, we
We
went
did,
to
like,
Vermont,
Vermont.
and that was absolutely beautiful. There are a lot of places we've actually talked about revisiting our honeymoon for like the 5 or 10 year anniversary. Actually, it's been 5 years.
It's 5 years.
It's been 5 years, so maybe 10 years. I don't know, or whenever we get the time. But we talked about doing like a vlog series of like revisiting our honeymoon spots. We went to predominantly Vermont, and then we spent a little time in like
Lake George.
upstate New York, far away from the city. And that was fun. And it's mostly like adventure parks and hiking and whatnot. And I guarantee you our audience would not take to that, but it would be fun to
You
do.
do it.
Well, if you're in Vermont, you could just hit Salem as
It's
like a
true.
1-day thing,
Yes.
Why not?
and the haunt audience will find that because it's Halloween.
There you go.
Yep.
There
Look,
you go.
I gave you guys content. You guys are
Yeah.
set.
There you go. Add it to the
This
list.
is how we get content.
Uh-huh.
Or our ideas for content is sometimes people are like, you should go to this place, and we're like, huh, okay.
One of the
You'll absolutely love Salem.
Oh,
I believe it.
It's on our list. Remember I said we had lists.
I would like to avoid it during Halloween for the first visit.
If you see, you
Well-
gotta kind of see it like that.
Yeah.
If you go early in the week, like a Monday.
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
like,
not
like
the season,
spooky-
but Halloween, like the
Yeah.
actual, like outside of, but probably in September when it's like warming up for the season would be a perfect time to go for
Could
us.
be, yeah. Because the way you film, I could see you wanting less people. But we went third week in October.
It was
Sorry,
third. We went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I wanted
Or
to go
Tuesday.
to Haunted. We were invited to Haunted Overload, so I was like, "We're going to Haunted Overload."
Yeah.
One of the biggest haunts in the country, and they're having us and behind the scenes tour, and yeah, we're going. And Salem's on the way. Do you want to go there? She's like, yeah. So she found a podcast.
Yes.
She found all the apps. She
Yes.
found all the rest. Like, this is Terry when this stuff happens. Like, she's in.
All the restaurants.
We got into Salem at 8 a.m. every day.
Yes, because if you get in there any later, you're not finding a parking spot.
You're not finding a parking spot. You're parking like 2 miles away, and you're not eating because all the restaurants are tiny, amazing, but tiny. When we were leaving around 3 or 4, when we were done for the day, the wait for lunch for like a table for 3 was like 75 minutes
Woo!
everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, September might be better for you guys because it'd be easier to film, especially like there's a witch statue everyone wants to see that's from Bewitched, and you're not getting near that in October.
Plus all the houses from Hocus Pocus and the
Right.
other film.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you still have that itinerary and restaurant list written down somewhere, Terry, we would love to have it.
She still listens to the podcast.
I do.
Yeah, what are you doing? We should be going to
It's not just in the. That's right. It's just in the podcast.
That's where I learned everything. What
okay.
restaurants? It's called the Salem Podcast,
Okay. Well,
and it's
Thanks
these
for
two
that.
tour guides that they just started during COVID doing the podcast about Salem and where to go and what restaurants to hit.
She put together quite a tour of Salem. For
I
me.
did, and then I joined the Facebook groups,
okay.
and then
That's-
asked
Yeah.
them questions, so I knew where to
Let's
park.
go on a journey.
Yeah,
I'm strictly introverted when I do my research, but everything up until the Facebook group sounded like pretty much how I plan trips too. Like you go and listen to whatever you can find, watch honestly watch YouTube videos too is how
Yeah, we would do.
how I
Let's
do
just
it.
watch the Carpetbagger, and he's just where he goes. I want to go.
Make it around a lot.
tourism.
I don't know how the hell he does what he does, but hats off, Carpetbagger. I'm gonna get you on this show. I've missed him at
We
field
crossed
like
the country the next day.
yeah. I've missed him at field twice. I missed him at a East Coast Haunters. I keep missing
really?
this guy. Yeah,
You walked right past.
Yeah.
I would have grabbed him. Like we're talking for like 5 minutes, bro. Sorry.
We did get a chance to talk to Kevin Heimbach, who came with the Markov's crew, and he's big in Central Florida right now too. But he actually grew up in the Maryland area, so he was. It feels conceited for me to say he was more on our level, but I feel like we had more in common.
He was just so chill.
He was, yeah.
I think I met him when I was hanging out with John, the Haunt Informer, at his booth. I'm pretty sure I met him. Yeah.
Also another chill person.
John's a good guy too, yeah.
He's a good guy.
Mhm.
You're crazy, John.
Yes.
Oh, and we have a live show, August 18th. Mark your calendars. I'm not announcing who yet, but be ready.
I thought this was gonna be...
Yeah, he's like,
I'll tell you guys, but I'm waiting until I drop my short to announce it to our audience out there.
You're good.
It's gonna be, it's pretty awesome.
Tuned.
I'm very much looking forward to it. All right, so
We're one destination short of the places we've been.
Oh, what
We did 4. We did Hawaii. We did the Netherlands.
I don't know if
we
that
did
was the top
Disneyland.
5. I thought that was just like a
Wasn't it
question.
top? Was it the 5?
if
or
you
was
want
it-
another one, we can take another
Oh,
one.
never mind then. No, I can't. I was
And I might have said top 5. I don't remember. I just
That was too
randomly
far back.
remember.
No, I'm not gonna push myself if you're not gonna push me.
All right, so this one's for each of you.
Okay.
I want your top 3 bucket list haunts.
Okay, that was top 3, just so we're clear.
Yep, 3 bucket list haunts that you really want to get to.
Haunted Overload. Dent Schoolhouse. For sure.
13.
Floor?
The one in New Orleans.
13th
Oh,
gate.
13th Gate.
13th Gate. There's so
If
many
you
13th
have the opportunity, even
You
a
must
slight
go.
one, you need to get your asses in there.
Yep.
Like, I've seen a lot. I've been in haunted attractions since 1985.
When we walked out of there, I'm already thinking, all right, I want to come back next week. How can we get on a plane, fly to Baton Rouge, go through the haunt, and get back on the plane and fly home?
Yeah, it was
It was amazing.
No words.
I've heard. Ooh, I remembered the fifth content creator that inspired us too. I'll talk about that in a second. But I was gonna say the 13th Gate was one that came highly recommended to us as being like one of the most immersive that this person had ever seen. The person that recommended it to us was Kira from the Haunt Scene, and Haunt Scene is probably the haunt channel that we probably most look up to, because they do what we would love to do, and they've travel up and down not just the East Coast but all over the country during haunt season. They chart a course and they hit like this one.
Yeah, we've
And
had Johnny on.
content out, and it's good content, and I don't know how the heck they do it, but they do it.
There's probably, maybe it's more than one person editing videos.
You think?
Maybe that's the secret.
Maybe they don't pour 8 hours
Divide and
into it.
conquer.
But yeah,
That's not me saying I'm gonna learn how to edit videos, by the way.
yes, it is. Those are my
You
3.
just put clips on top of clips. You got this.
No.
Can't do it.
I'm still learning.
Everyone will be like, these are the Tim videos that are actually good, and these are the
Annie does some reels sometimes, though. It's not like she's completely inept when it comes to editing. She does plenty for the channel.
Reels is not the same thing.
You
as what you
downplay it, but it is the same thing. It's just the same thing for a different screen.
Whatever.
What
I know
were your big 3? Because it was different.
I know it was different. Can I count just visiting Salem, or is that just not a
Nope, that's not a
Not a
haunt.
haunt. That's a
okay,
place.
That's fair.
That's a Halloween activity.
Halloween.
Just like you can't say
seasonal
Spirit
thing.
Halloween.
How come I can't? Oh, well, no. Spirit Halloween isn't a haunt either. I mean, I do think the 13th Gate one is one of is definitely in my top as well, because just you showed me like pictures and we heard descriptions of it, and I just thought it sounded amazing. Plus, I have only been to New Orleans. Well, I've been
They
to
got a snake pit.
Louisiana once. Yeah, the snake pit. You don't even like snakes.
I don't. Well, that's not true. I like snakes as a concept. I don't like snakes on me.
I will hold a snake. You won't hold a snake.
Yes, we both had different phobias. Continue.
Okay. Man, I'm trying to think of like the other ones we had. We had this like bucket list haunt live, like what was it last year?
I know what you had said was one of your most
Okay, if you
interested.
can remind me, that's fine.
Does it count if I install it in you?
Yes, it counts because I work in healthcare and my brain doesn't work anymore after a day.
USS Nightmare.
Oh, yeah, that one did sound good.
That was the one you were excited about.
Yeah,
Ghost ship.
ghost ship. I like boats too. And I like them when I like when there's like kind of like a kind of forced theme, like how Laurel has like the movie theater and they're like, we're gonna use this and do something with it. I really like that. And
Dead air.
That's fine.
Yeah.
My audience is completely fine with that. They understand.
They're like, they're gone.
I'm sorry, podcast listeners. We're not dead.
No one listens ever. I just throw it on there for fun. They all watch, so it's okay.
I mean, I do think I don't want to use the same exact ones that you did, but I do like Haunted we've seen a lot of videos of Haunted Overload and it does seem really, really cool. And their builds are amazing. And I just want to like live in their woods.
Yep.
Right.
I would also add as runners up probably the 13th floor and also what's that one that I see all the time in this area? Reaper's Revenge. We've never been.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
You need to go.
You
need to go.
Literally everything on this list. There's much that we haven't gotten to simply because of distance. And we're working on ways to make that less of a factor, but it really does come down to, can we get there and back in a weekend, and can we have a vlog edited for the following Friday? Right. And we have to kind of like figure out how to map. Like we have to chart our season in like March. And people think we're ridiculous when we tell them, especially outside of this industry.
Yeah.
Families and friends who are like, what are you doing like September? And then before they've even finished, like busy, can't. September and October are full. We're done.
Yeah. Our friends are getting remarried and they're doing it during the day to not interfere with our haunt season.
Hey,
right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our family didn't have that consideration.
Oh, last year she had me at a wedding in September. I'm like, this is bullshit. These people got to know I'm busy.
I told you could stay home.
September 8th or September 1st until November 2nd. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm not going to work. And if I am going to work, I'm hitting a haunt that night. It's just, I told our kid is having a kid, so I'm going to be a grandfather. Yeah. Thanks.
Grandpappy.
And I told him, I'm like, listen, I don't see my kids in September to November. I ain't seeing yours. So, yeah, I have two younger ones from a previous relationship, and hers is, he's 30 now, right?
He's 29.
29. So I told him, like, I don't see my blood. I'm not seeing your kid. So there's no mommy's babysitting, mama's baby. Nope. We're out. Bye.
It is I feel like something that all haunters share is this, like, the enthusiasm that no one understands.
Yep.
Like nobody gets how busy or how September and October can be full in March. Like nobody gets it.
Yeah, we
unless they come with us.
Yeah, unless they come with us.
Then they're like, Jesus, this is what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Even then, they come through and they're like, I can't believe you do this like every weekend.
And we got four more this weekend. Let's hop in the car. They're like, no. I'm like, why?
And different people have different reactions too. Like people we thought would be tough as nails going through a haunted house have sometimes had like reactions and been like, I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. And other times they've been like, wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever experienced. I have to do more. I don't know when I'm going to find the time.
The first time I went to the first time I went to Field, which is the first place we went to where they No, Markov's was the first place we went to where they could touch you. Which one was
Yes,
it? Yeah, it was
Markov's was our first full contact haunt.
Yeah, yeah,
By
because it was
virtue
there
of
before we ever
proximity.
went to Field of Screams, Pennsylvania. I was worried. I was like, I don't know, I might freak out. Just, you have to accept whatever outcome it is by coming to this thing. And then I went through it and I was like laughing the whole, like, not, I was scared, but my instinct is scream, then laugh at myself for how silly I am for screaming. And I was like, wow, I pretty much just was screaming and laughing for 25 minutes. This is fun.
It's basically like being in a horror movie. And if you set different haunts, different extreme levels of extremity. Extremity? Extremity?
Yeah.
Words.
Yeah.
Different haunts have different level intensity is probably a better word.
Yeah.
So like Katie is a little bit claustrophobic. I am very hydrophobic, but in specific scenarios. Like if I go on a website, as I have, and I see a haunt that says like you may have to hold your breath, I'm like, nope, I'm sorry, I can't. Like you do it if you want to do it, but I can't go through that one. But Katie, if she sees like tight spaces, she's like, that could mean anything. I don't know whether I'm gonna be uncomfortable.
Yeah, he was worried. He's like, he was warning me. There is a part, the first time I was going through Den of Darkness, he's like, there's a part where you have to crawl, or Frightmare.
Oh, Den was where you crawl.
Yeah, there's a part where you have to crawl. And
I was thinking of birth canal.
Yeah, well, those
yeah, the birth canal.
like the part you have to crawl. So, I'll just warning you it's happening. And now I could probably crawl through that thing backwards. I've been through it so many times, but I don't know. I just kept waiting for like my I quit instinct to kick in going through these haunts. And I'm always like, no. Now if I went somewhere and they're like, now we're gonna separate you from your group and throw you in this coffin and shut the door.
Right.
Not a coffin.
I enjoyed my time in the coffin at Fright Farm.
No, but you chose. I'm telling you, if we're walking through, and part of the haunt experience is I get grabbed, separated from my group, and shoved in a coffin for a few minutes, that will not be okay with me. Right. I don't think it would be okay with me.
But you would have a hard time communicating that in real time to an actor unless it's an extreme event and not an extreme haunt where you can simply say safe word and pass whatever they're doing.
Yeah, but my other thing is
I refuse to say the safe word.
If we paid a lot of money to do the experience,
that's why I'm like,
I refuse to safe word myself out of it, it's also gonna piss me off.
Yep.
So
we did our very first extreme haunt, and I hope it won't be our last, but again, varying levels of intensity, we have to know what we're getting into a little bit. We did the extreme blackout at Field of Screams. And that was great because we knew everyone by that time. So it was kind of like, yes, we're being tortured, but we're being tortured by our friends. Our friends are tasing us. Our friends are bagging us and tying us up. It's going to be fine. But we were originally talking to Jim and Jean about coming in and helping them promote by like standing off to the side and shooting while they hurt other people. And at the end, when we went through Den, we had friends standing at the door who were like, you're getting down on your knees. The bag is going over your head. We're tying you up. You're going through. And then like from that point on, it was,
you're in it.
Well, I guess we're chugging vinegar and crawling through pits and being, what is it? Ethered, but not really. Like having
some of the extreme stuff was just like people drawing with magic marker on your face.
Yes.
So
and
it wasn't too bad.
We won't give away what makes the haunt extreme or what the secrets are, but they do it in a very safe way there, and we knew that, so it was fine. There are other places where it says on the website like you may be waterboarded, and I'm like,
no,
no, thank you.
That's awesome.
I mean, we said before we like the haunts not because, to an extent, we do enjoy being scared. Like I said, I get scared, I laugh at myself. But it's become more of we really enjoy seeing the hard work, the artistry, the effort, the makeup, all the immersion, like that has become, because as we've established, we really enjoy a well-themed experience. And that theme could be haunted house or haunted garage or whatever it is, haunted movie theater, or it could be
Hershey's chocolate,
or it could be fairy tale forest. Like, we enjoy the theming, so I think
and that's what made haunts so easy for us to fall into, is because they were so directly adjacent a good theme park. And my favorite quote in the entire haunt industry that I've ever heard so far came from the team at Fright Farm, where this video is on our channel, so anyone can go check it out. But they did a whole like Expedition Everest themed room of their haunt last year at Fright Farm. It wasn't explicitly Expedition Everest, but if you're a Disney fan who's been to the parks, you can tell that they were obviously thinking of certain things in certain ways. And when I pointed it out, the response was, I've never met a haunter that's not a Disney person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it makes perfect sense, because what you're captivated by more often than not when you go to a haunt is how immersive and how atmospheric the sets and the interactions are. It's not so much about, I mean, because we could go to like a pop-up haunted house at a county fair and have the same experience if all we wanted to do was get a couple of jump scares. But what they do really, really well in this industry is they build stuff from nothing, and they make it so immersive and so captivating that we're like, wow.
Yeah.
And then we get scared. And that's what we like.
Yep, that's me. Set design, sound effects. That's what brings me to places. It really does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're pretty much out of questions for you guys. Is there anything else you want to get into before we close this out? And stay on for a couple minutes. I want to talk to you about something.
Yeah, sure. I feel like we ended on such a
I
good
feel
note.
like we just yammered on.
I feel like if I start another topic, we'll be here for 2 more hours.
That's how the show works. It just happens. Like, you can see my Markov's interview went like an hour and a half. And it went for a
good interview though, man. I enjoyed that.
And it went for another hour after we hung up, after we ended.
That's how, like, if we have a guest on one of our live streams, backstage is on forever.
Yep.
I won't keep you too long because we gotta take the dog out. But tell everyone where they can find you. I'll put all the links in the description and go.
So Tim and Katie, the YouTube channel, TIMANDKT, one word. That is our primary outlet. As we said early on, we're very much long form content creators. So our vlogs will typically be somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. But for the most part, we trim it until we can tell the story we want to tell about our day. We do haunts, we do theme parks, we do travel, we do all kinds of other stuff, roadside attractions. We also have Instagram, which is our primary social. And on that one, the Tim and Katie name was already taken. So we are the real Tim and Katie.
On Instagram.
On Instagram. And Threads, if anyone wants to follow us on Threads. It's kind of, on Threads, I'm a little more sassy. I just like to just put thoughts out there. And it's basically my version of Twitter, which I think is what it was meant to be when it was created.
So do I.
And then on Facebook, we are just Tim and Katie, as with the YouTube channel. We don't post there quite as often, but we try to engage that audience as best we can, because we know that some people
mostly
are
like
just Facebook
resharing links to videos or
posting polls, photos,
stuff.
So there's a little bit something unique about each platform, but the YouTube channel is definitely where we put our heart and soul, where our passion is, and where we'd like to see growth. And fun fact, first time announcing it because I didn't want to jinx it, but we just this week crossed the 2,000 subscribers.
I saw that, and I was waiting for you to bring it up before I congratulated you, because I saw it today.
Congrats.
It has been a slow but very fulfilling 4 years, 4 years on the channel. 5 years for us.
5 years married, 4 years
All right, so subscribe to them now, and then when you're done, come back here, because I have like 90 days and 103 more to go to hit our goal. So hit the subscribe button.
You're gonna do it.
This is gonna be tight. We're gonna say.
You're absolutely gonna do it.
We've been invited to hop on the Haunt Hour, which is another haunt show that Troy from Terror Tours runs with a couple other people, and hoping that helps. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Got a lot of stuff coming up. And our first live show, August 18th. Mark our calendars. We'll talk about that later. All All right, guys. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Hang on for a couple seconds, all of you. Right now, we're in Virginia,
Yeah.
so I'm not looking at shit. That's my goal. I'm gonna have all my shorts loaded. I'm on vacation mode. I'm not thinking about this.
Yep.
I'm not thinking about nothing.
I'm not answering any work calls either.
That's fine. I didn't ask you to. But this has been Halloween Haunts 365, where every day is haunt season. We'll see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.